including one that Brad Abbott attended down at Lincoln Way East High School. At the high school of each award recipient, that was a good substitute, but honestly, it was really only a good substitute for a year, so it's a lot more fun doing this as a big group like we have today. My name's Chris Carney. Since 2006, I've been proud to be the volunteer president of the local chapter of this nationwide organization. The National Football Foundation was founded in 1947. The NFF Chicago Metro chapter started in 1966, making it one of the oldest chapters in the Midwest. But more importantly, in my view, this chapter is one of the most charitable of the 120 chapters, thanks to chapter members and many other supporters. We've given out, just since 2006, over $325,000 in college scholarships, including the $25,000 we're going to honor today. At the outset, I want to acknowledge a very good friend that attended nearly all of these award ceremonies in the last 17 years. Steve McMichael is a longtime NFF chapter board member. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2010. He played a huge role on the defensive line for the 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl champs, and he's battling like hell against ALS right now with the same positivity that he brought to this event every year. He always knew when Mongo was in the room, right? Ty Wilkins, a good friend of his. Fred Mitchell's a good friend of his. Ted Hendricks, no doubt, has known Mongo for a long time. He brought an energy that was contagious to all of us, and a sense of humor that is second to none. I passed along our well wishes to Steve and Misty, and they know we will keep the positive thoughts coming. As you're about to see, there are people here today that are on a big-time roll, revolving around football. Everyone receiving an award today ought to feel like they're on a high. Here's some examples. The Lincoln Way East Griffins made it to another 8A state championship last season. Head coach Rob Svonar and team captain Brad Abbott are here today. Willowbrook High School won our state's first ever flag football championship, received extensive local and national honors. We'll hear from Sarah today. Coaches Rachel Karras and Nick Hildreth are here as well. North Central College won the Division III National Championship on December 16th, the National Championship in Division III. Head coach Brad Spencer, his wife and SID Clark Tusher are here. They will be honored today for their second national championship in 3 seasons. The late night crowds in downtown Naperville at the Lantern and Potters were surely much larger than usual at the national championship. I say that as a guy that grew up in Naperville. I'll leave it at that. They let us into the bars at 16. College of DuPage won the Junior College D3 National Championship on December 3rd. The National Championship. From a hard-fought 14-12 win, it was their second straight national title. Head coach Matt Ron and about 10 coaches and players are here to celebrate. Today we'll hear from high school seniors like Lawrence Knowles III, a highly sought-after college football recruit that earned Chicago Urban League Excellence recognition. Luciano Rolando, a two-way starter that played 99% of his team's snaps when he wasn't injured, and then even played the national anthem with the band. He's in the honors band as well, before kickoff. Never heard of that before. Really, really cool, Luciano. Luke Serwin started his own 501c3 nonprofit organization to distribute STEM kits and videos to children in underserved communities. Folks, these are 18-year-olds that we're talking about that are doing things that are absolutely extraordinary. The Illinois State Redbirds had their first ever player inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame 2 months ago. The Hall of Fame is a big part of what the NFF does, and it was really cool to return to ISU in late September to see linebacker Boomer Grigsby honored by the school, by head coach Brock Spack, instrumental role in Boomer's induction, and by the College Football Hall of Fame. Coach Spack and Mike are here today. Raiders legend Ted Hendricks was named one of the NFL's top 100 players of all time around this event in 2020. Ted was honored on the field before the Super Bowl, and my wife Jody and I have enjoyed getting to know Ted and Linda. Luckily, they live not too far from here, and we're grateful that Ted and Linda could join us here today. Let's hear it for Ted and Linda. The Illini offensive lineman Nick Allegretti from Frankfurt received the Mental Toughness Award here in 2018. Nick played for Coach Vonar at Lincoln Way East. He was named to the Fighting Illini's All-Decade team for last decade. He was an NFF Campbell Award Trophy nominee, commonly referred to as the Academic Heisman. He was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, and last week he played his third Super Bowl in 4 NFL seasons, winning his second Super Bowl on the same day that his wife Christina gave birth to twin girls. That's a pretty cool day. I haven't seen Carl yet. He's probably on his Archie Manning. In addition, Carl was honored by the NFF as just the 13th person inducted into its Leadership Hall of Fame in June in downtown Chicago, and it was an incredible event, emceed by the same Fred Mitchell, who's also here today. The University of Chicago record-setting running back Nick DeAmbrose is his school's first ever finalist for the NFF's Campbell Award. Nick, his head coach Todd Gilchrist, and a great group of family and friends are here to honor Nick. I enjoyed talking with Nick just now in front here about how much fun he had in Las Vegas playing roulette at the same table as Andrew Luck. And Nick won, by the way. So that's pretty cool. Did I get that right, Nick? Yeah. Awesome. Nick was one of 15 people that were selected among thousands of people that were nominees for the finalist of the Campbell Trophy. Again, the Academic Heisman. Absolutely an amazing honor. First person from UFC to get there. Today's a homecoming of sorts for 4 former NFF and Bears Award recipients that joined our board of directors last year. Lincoln Way East, Brendan Mullerin, was honored at this event in 2007. He's a Notre Dame grad. He's an executive at CIBC Bank, and he's here with his wife, Gretchen. 2009 NFF Award recipient, civil engineer and Iowa State grad, Brian Whitson, his wife, Bianca, and his dad, Dave, are also here. When Dave was the longtime coach at Mundelein High School, 6, and Whitty and I were just talking about this, 6 of the high school student athletes that he nominated for excellence in football, community service, and academics, 6 of those kids ended up winning scholarships like you'll see today. De La Salle's Ed Keating was honored in 2010 before he went to the University of Illinois and Notre Dame Law School. He's an attorney at law firm Dwayne Morris. Ed has a flight tonight out of Midway. We're grateful to him for pushing that off just long enough to join us here today. Grayslake North's Ross Sauer also received this honor in 2010 before he earned a bachelor's and MBA degrees from Purdue. He's in finance and treasury at SC Johnson, and he's joined today by his wife Alyssa. Big thanks to these fine folks for joining us today and for forging a path to the next generation of NFF Chicago leaders as our board treasurer Wolf Tone and I will wind down after 17 years of enjoyment in these volunteer roles. Hopefully this preview of today's program makes you excited to hear from today's award recipients. As I mentioned earlier, since 2006, over $325,000 in college scholarships. Nationally, 1.1 million people played high school football last year, with 2.8 million more playing youth football, creating a pipeline for future football generations. And thanks to your support, the $25,000 in college scholarships being awarded today, $5,000 for each of the 5 high school student athlete award winners that are not already receiving full scholarships. That's in the top 5% of all 120 NFF chapters. In addition, we've given thousands of dollars in contributions to other charities with ties to football, including the Walter and Connie Payton Foundation, Coach Jerry and Rebecca Kill's Cancer Foundation, Gridiron Alliance, which is the outstanding local group that provides much needed assistance to high school football players that are paralyzed on the field of play, and football programs to high schools in need. Today you'll hear inspirational stories from elite players and elite coaches. Before Jeff Joniak kicks off the award presentations, I'll give a few highlights and updates on some of the women and men that we've honored at this event in the last 17 years. You'll see pictures of some of them on page 2 and 3 of your program. Fighting Illini alum Ted Karras received the NFF Mental Toughness Award 7 years ago. Since then, he's played in 3 Super Bowls for the New England Patriots. He has 2 Super Bowl rings. He plays center for the Cincinnati Bengals. And his uncle Alex Karras was inducted into the 2020 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Side note, I'll say this because Teddy's not here. He's actually married to my brother and sister-in-law's niece. Awesome guy, but they lost to Nick Allegretti and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I say that now because Carl's here, so you heard my introduction to Carl Let's hear it for Carl, by the way. He was on an absolute cloud nine right now. Not only is he a grandpa of twins, 2 weeks ago he wasn't a grandpa of anybody, so now he's got two, which is awfully cool. And his son's got his second Super Bowl ring coming. Northwestern's former defensive end, Tyler Lancaster, started for the Green Bay Packers for several seasons. He won the same award that Teddy and Nick won, the NFF Mental Toughness Award. He's recovering nicely from an injury as he seeks his next NFL team in free agency. Algonquin's Lauren Van Vleerbergen was an NFF Scholar Athlete Award honoree in 2015, shortly after she received the Wendy's Heisman Award in New York at the Heisman Trophy presentation as the nation's top female high school athlete. She ran track at the University of Michigan, including their 2018 Big Ten Outdoor Conference champs. She also received academic All-Big Ten honors, and she's an investment banker now in New York City. In 2016, Taylor Campos from Lamont also received the Wendy's Heisman Award and the NFF Scholar Athlete Award. She graduated from the University of Chicago with an economics degree, and she now lives in Boston as a philanthropic officer for Bank of America. Bob Thomas received the NFF's Distinguished American Award at this event. He was on Notre Dame's 1973 National Championship team. He kicked for the Bears for 10 years, and he retired from the Illinois Supreme Court in 2020 after 32 years as a judge. Jamal Brown, Amani Jones, and the Phillips Academy football program were recognized here in 2015. Phillips Academy defied the odds to win 2 state championships in a 5-year span. Football has been a bright spot in the community, which is among the most violent in Chicago. Jamal, Amani, and their teammates dealt with things that are tough to imagine if we didn't hear it from them firsthand at this award 8 years ago. Amani Jones finished his career as a linebacker studying criminal justice at the University of Iowa, where he received the Hawkeyes Hustle Award and the Coaches Appreciation Award from Kirk Ferentz. We've been thrilled to honor people like Super Bowl 20 MVP Richard Dent for his 2011 induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. College Football Hall of Famers like Pat Fitzgerald, Steve McMichael, Chris Bazillion, Jim Covert, Chris Zorich, and more have been honored at this event as well for their induction into elite football halls of fame. The college student athletes that have received the Fred Mitchell Outstanding Place Kicker Award here at Halas Hall are doing amazing work professionally in their communities. You'll hear in a little while, Fred will talk about the importance of this award, not only for kicking excellence, like Ethan Getman, but also civic excellence, community service, and Ethan has done a load of that as well. Really, really cool. Some of the kickers that have won that award have kicked in the NFL. Patrick Murray kicked for 4 years for the Browns and Buccaneers, for example. Several have been in camps. One kicked for the New York Jets, Sergio Castillo, and he's been an All-Pro in the Canadian Football League a couple times, won the Grey Cup, the CFL's equivalent of the Super Bowl last season. Just talked to Sergio last week, and he's also doing extremely well. Matt Catigula is here with his wife Julie. He passed the CPA exam. He joined the U.S. Secret Service in 2017. He handled fraud investigations and protection of the executive branch before his current role with Homeland Security investigations as a special agent. It's really especially cool to have Matt and Julia here, knowing that they're just a few months from their first child being due in June? May. Got it. Awesome. Thank you both for being here today. As you can tell, we're quite proud of the incredible achievements of the women and men that have been honored at this event, and we admire what they continue to do personally and professionally. We wouldn't be here today without the tremendous support since 2006 from Marge Ham, Caroline Schrenker, Matt Simeone, Gus Silva, the Bears Care Board of Directors, the McCaskey family, Ted Phillips, the soon-to-retire president of the Bears, and the entire Chicago Bears organization. On behalf of the NFF, we're truly grateful to Bears Care for the incredible financial support that they've consistently provided to our chapter. Bears Care is the charitable arm of the Chicago Bears and has contributed nearly $160,000 to the NFF locally since 2010. No other NFL team comes anywhere close in generosity than the Chicago Bears and Bears Care. Plus an additional $95,000 Play It Smart program, which serves underserved communities in the south and west sides of Chicago. As you might know, the College Football Hall of Fame moved from South Bend to downtown Atlanta in 2014. My son and I have visited the Hall of Fame several times, including in 2018 before we went to the Alabama-Georgia National Championship game. It's really enjoyable for football fans and people of all ages. There are 12,000 NFF members. Anyone can join online. The website's at the bottom of the first page of your award ceremony program and on the last page of your program as well. Each NFF member will receive the next College Football Hall of Fame ballot this June. Voting for the Hall of Fame is a unique perk of NFF membership. The math is simple. More members for $60 a year means we can provide more college scholarships like the 25,000 we're providing today, and not so insignificant, we can have more influence and get more Chicago people into the College Football Hall of Fame in true Chicago fashion. It's a pleasure to turn the podium over to the award-winning voice of the Chicago Bears. We're grateful that Jeff Joniak has taken the afternoon to multitask a bit with WBBM again this year. Jeff has extensive experience in this market since graduating from Hersey High School in Arlington Heights and from Iowa State University, Brian Whitson's alma mater as well. Jeff's energy is contagious, and as Bears fans, we're really fortunate to have Jeff and Tom Thayer calling the games for the Bears. They're moving to ESPN 1000 starting this fall. Jeff and I had a great chance to connect and catch up on that today. Please welcome me and join me in welcoming Jeff Joniak.
Good afternoon. First of all, don't go away. I love football. Who else loves football? I mean, who's passionate about football? This guy right here deserves a ton of credit for loving the game. That's always, I've said this before at this podium, who's been here before, this game is always under attack for whatever reason. It's the greatest sport. Howard Griffith's staring at me right now. You're damn right. I love this game. But this guy loves people, and he loves the people in the game. He's done an amazing job, so give him a real applause.
Yeah.
It's no insignificant thing that he rattles off every detail about everybody here because, right? He's like friends with everybody. He's friends with everybody, so we do appreciate him. But thanks for having me once again. I believe he had it in the notes. Time flies when you're having fun. This is 15 years for me. So, yeah, I've enjoyed this event a great deal. And you're in the building that right now, with all due respect to your son for winning another Super Bowl there in Kansas City, this is the center of the football universe right now. We got the #1 pick, we got assets, we've got a potential new stadium brewing, and we're going to be in good shape here for many years to come, it looks like. So, special thanks to the board of directors for also inviting me here. It's a ceremony that honors, obviously, amateur football, attributes that we admire so much collectively. Here on this day where we honor leaders in our great nation from a long time here on President's Day, but teamwork, dignity, toughness, respect, courage, academics, community service, and of course excellence on the football field. But those of you who have not attended this event, you're going to be blown away by the individual stories. Chris alluded to the off-the-field contributions to community and what they've done in the classroom. It blows your mind. It makes you feel like, personally, that you haven't done a damn thing yet in your life. So, you young people are coming strong. You're our future. We appreciate it. The award ceremony is among the first that will be held across the country from now until June, honoring approximately 3,300 scholar athletes, including those that we are honoring here today. Over $1 million in college scholarships will be provided by the NFF again this year, thanks to the support of people like yourselves. All time, more than 90,000 scholar athletes have been honored. More than 25 million in college scholarships have been provided, and total attendance at these events, now more than 1.5 million people. Before we unveil the Community Champions Award recipients, we'll spend a few minutes here with a special guest this afternoon, a man I have great respect for in the short time I've gotten to know him. His crew with the Indianapolis Colts back in February of 2007 happened to knock out the Bears in the Super Bowl. Colts get the championship. thanks in part to the coaching of this man right here. Please welcome Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams, everybody. Coach, how you doing, my friend? Put that on, if you will. Looking sharp.
Thank you. Doing outstanding.
Alan Williams, everybody.
How you doing?
Brought up the Super Bowl. You know, I still see Kelvin Hayden running for a pick six.
Yeah. Fond memories. Fond memories.
I thought the game was over when Devin took the opening kickoff back. I thought it was a wrap.
Not a chance.
In that game, by the way, and if you've heard me say this before, I just wanted to just, you know, it's maybe the only Super Bowl, right? So you're like shocked you're calling the Super Bowl. I just wanted to get the flash bulbs popping, and never once did I consider that he was going to return the kick for a touchdown. Not even 1 second.
You know
what? Wait, I don't mean to cut you off, but if I say wait to my girl, she fines me $5, so you can fine me $5 for waiting you. But right, there's an NFL Films version of the call where I'm detailing the Indianapolis Colts were awful covering kicks that year. So I'm thinking, but I never stopped and thought he'd return a kick for a touchdown. So he makes that one cut. So part of my brain's calling the game, and the other part saying, "Oh my God, he's going to score a touchdown! You can't blow this. It's the Super Bowl. And it's never happened since or before." So Tom Thayer, my broadcast partner, while he's crossing into the end zone, takes his big paw and he smacks me on the rear end so hard. He rips his head. The game hasn't even started yet. But that happened. But anyway, great memories for sure, and certainly a pinnacle in your coaching career, I'm sure.
No question. Anytime that you can say that you are the best in the world at something, no matter what that is, that's something that you feel really good about. And so that's not just a feather in our cap, but the whole organization at the time, just being able to do something at a high level and saying that you're the best in the entire world. No one can take that from you.
Yeah, and you got back there again. Did not win that one, and those always, like everybody always says, would you rather get to a Super Bowl and not win, just to say you got there? And it depends who you talk to. I'd rather just get there and have a chance and not complain about it if it doesn't go your way.
No, I always think that you strive to do the very best and be the very best that you can be, and whatever happens. You live with that, but to actually get there, it takes a little bit of luck, a lot of skill, and a lot of endurance in the NFL to get to where you want to be.
Well, your career at William & Mary, you were a star running back there, great school. You wound up coaching high school football, not unlike some of our guests here today, and worked your way up at William & Mary through the college game and into the NFL. Tell us about that journey, and did you think you'd ever make it here when you started out high school football coach?
You know what, I had no plans on being here. This was not my dream job, even though I still wake up and I still pinch myself to say I'm the coordinator of the Chicago Bears. But my dream job was to be a high school head football coach at my old high school. My dream was to be the principal. My dream was to be a superintendent. So that was, you know, going through school, going through college, that was what I wanted to be. And you know what, I just didn't work out. The Lord had different plans for my life, and He brought me here. A lot of, if you looked at my career, it may look like it was doing this each time, but there were a lot of here, nope, a lot of no's along the way, and then some yeses, and then a lot of no's. So I would like to say that my journey has taught me how to persevere. My journey is, you know, I talked a little bit about you know, hard work or grit or being able to work through some failures. So my journey was a lot more of those than the pinnacle situations like being the coordinator of the Chicago Bears.
So this is President's Day, and his theme is always for this event, mean to Alan Williams.
Yeah, building leaders. First, I think one of the questions that I get are, is it that much of a difference coaching these guys than it is you guys that I see sitting down here in the front? And I think everyone wants to know that a coach is gonna help them be what they want to be, get them where they want to be. And so when I talk to my guys, they say that the first thing is, in being a leader, can you lead yourself? Can you wake up in the morning like you're supposed to be? In my house, can you make your bed in the morning? Can you go to class, and can you be the very best that you can be in the classroom? Can you take a hit when I say take a hit, I'm really not talking about on the football field, but can you get a no? Can you get a, hey, I didn't get there? And then can you keep going? Can you get up? Do you have some grit? Because in my house and in the meeting room, we always say, hey, failure is not fatal, right? Failure is just a way to get you to continue to grow and maximize whatever you have. So here in this organization, we talk about, hey, how do we get guys to maximize whatever they have, if whatever you have, and that we think that's our job as leaders here in our organization.
You've touched on a bunch of topics here, including the classroom when you're a student, civic, the responsibilities and the impact that is done by pro football players every year, the community work that they've done, their own foundations and whatnot. How important is that just for what these young men and women are doing, build them for success in life, forget about professional?
Yep, I would say that for us, if all we do is win Super Bowls and win games here, we failed. Complete failure. We want to do more than that. We want to affect our community in a positive way. So it's not just about winning ball games, which we do have to do, and we do have to win more of those. But we're still in it to affect our community, affect our leaders in a positive way. So our guys are out there on their days off. They're out there in schools and hospitals and group homes, doing things that are that people may or may not see, just because they want to leave a positive impact on the community. And we are, as coaches, as our head coach, top down, we support our guys 100% in affecting our community in a positive way.
You've coached some elite players, Bob Sanders, John Lynch, so many great ones, Darius Slay, Jared Allen, Rondé Barber. What's the common thread between these group of men that we honor with Hall of Fame ceremonies and recognition as all pros? Is there a common theme with the very best of the best?
Yeah, I think so. There are a couple of adjectives that I would throw out. I threw one of them out, grit, that they can fail and still keep going. Coachability, that at the time when I was coming in, I was coaching John Lynch. I think he was just a few years younger than I was, and he wanted to be coached. So great players, they know where they are, but they want to be coached, they want to be corrected. And I think that's a big deal, especially now when people don't want to be corrected. And so I think there's a way to correct someone and still be respectful. We do that. So they want to be coached. They want to be the very best. So it's not just, hey, you feed me. It's, hey, give me some tools that I can go and feed myself, go and learn by myself, go and look at the tape and improve. And then just a will to be better, or will to be the very best that they can be. All those guys had a little bit different in terms of the God-given mental capacity that the Lord gave them. But the one thing that they all had was tenacious work ethic to be great. So I think that's more important than just your IQ or your physical gifts, but how hard you work at it.
All right, I mentioned this at the top. We're the center of the football universe.
Yes.
I'm joking around,
No,
of course,
no, you're
but
not.
it just feels that way. As a coach of this team right now, after you guys went through what you went through last year, played so many young players, and you know you're going to get a new crop of guys, some of significance, some young players of significance. How has it been in the building leading up to this process? How do you feel as a coach about what's about to unfold?
Super encouraged. We not encouraged about our record, but encouraged about the guys that we have, encouraged about how they worked. We have something called a GPS in the pads, and that tells how fast guys practice, how far they go. And one of the things that our guys told us, our strength and conditioning staff told us, was that our guys practiced as hard or harder the last week of the season than they did the first week. So that says when you're not winning ball games, that says something about how guys are buying in, that how hard guys are practicing. Our guys worked in the classroom as hard or harder than they did and paid attention. That's something that they pay attention in the classroom. You may think, well, gosh, NFL guys are supposed to, but there are some places that they don't. And so our guys, they worked, they paid attention, they studied. So whenever you have a group of guys like that and that are good people, you know you have a chance. And maybe we didn't, and not maybe, we didn't reach a lot of the goals that we wanted to reach. But I would say this, that before you can build something that's sustainable, you have to have a solid, deep foundation. And no one likes to talk about the foundation because the only time you hear about the foundation is when it's cracked, when it's broke. But we have a deep, solid, wide foundation. And what that means when you have that, when you start to do something that's good, and it's when you do something that's good, it's heavy. And so when you have something that's good and heavy, you better have a solid foundation. We do have that. So it's not a microwavable team where it's right now. Our team is going to be built to last for a long time.
Yes, right? How about that? Perfectly said. To wrap this up, this team also played the most rookie snaps in the NFL by a margin of 4 digits. I mean, it was just crazy. So that foundation, these guys can also then start carrying out, hey guys, this is how we do it here. So it's going to be a fun time, fun to see what unfolds. Appreciate you very much. Alan Williams, thank you very much. All right. Love his insights, always have, always will. Coming up next here, we got Gus Silva. He is the Chicago Bears manager of youth football and community programs. Former Bear Roberto Garza and others just returned from 5 days of football clinics in Barcelona and Madrid to help promote the NFL in Spain. I think that is a huge thing coming up in the future for the entire league. They've obviously played a lot of games in Europe. It's going to continue that way. Heard from the commissioner during the Super Bowl about Germany and expanding in other areas as well. I think it's here to stay. Understandably, the Bears proud of the significant positive impact the team and its players have in the community. And shortly, with the help of Howard Griffith and Mike Rolando, Gus is going to present the Chicago Bears Community Champion Awards to 2 deserving high school football players that have been leaders in their local communities. Each of these award recipients receive a $5,000 college scholarship thanks to Bears Care and the NFF. Please welcome Gus Silva. Looking sharp today, isn't it?
All right. First of all, good afternoon. Welcome to Halas Hall. On behalf of the Chicago Bears and Bears Care, we're just grateful to have this event back at Halas Hall after a couple-year hiatus. Today we are here to celebrate the great work of the National Football Foundation under the guidance and leadership of Chris Carney, and also to honor these outstanding student athletes. All of these young ladies and gentlemen are an inspiration, and their accomplishments have made them stand out from their peers. The Chicago Bears support this event because we feel it's important to honor student athletes that make a difference on the field, in the classroom, and in their community. The Chicago Bears have a long-standing history of community support. As you've heard from Coach Williams, our coaches, players, staff, and of course the McCaskey family work hard every day to continue that tradition. The 2 student athletes we are going to honor next are the winners of the Chicago Bears Community Champion Award, which is modeled after the NFL's Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. The Bears nominee for the Man of the Year this past season was cornerback Jalen Johnson. Jalen was the founder of the Kevy's Vision Project, a non-for-profit dedicated to improving opportunities of underserved communities in his hometown of Fresno. It's named after and continues the legacy of service of Jalen's childhood friend who tragically lost his life. Like Jalen, as you will hear from the coaches and mentors of these young men, these student athletes stood out for their volunteerism and charity work. Each winner will receive a $5,000 college scholarship on behalf of the National Football Foundation and Bears Care. So to start things off, I would like to introduce the coaches and mentors of these outstanding young men. First up, please welcome Howard Griffith to introduce Lawrence Knowles III.
Good afternoon. I'd like to congratulate all the award recipients. You guys have done an unbelievable job to get to this point. But I want to talk about Lawrence Knowles III. This is a young man that when I started my youth football program was a part of it. So we was in our program for 8-9 years. And one of the things that was really significant about him, and when you look at his laundry list of things that he has been involved in when it comes down to community, for me, when I started to think about it, it all goes back to the young man that I saw originally. He was playing offensive line. If anybody knows anything about youth sports, it is the worst position to play in all of youth sports. And here's why. You can't go home and practice it because nobody wants to be an offensive line. Everybody else, you can go shoot basketballs, you can hit baseballs, you can do all those things. But he's playing offensive line. Never complained about it. I don't know what he did when he got in the car with you, but he never complained when he came to the field. He worked hard all the time. The second and most important thing about Mr. Knowles is how he treats family. The way he treats his little brother is remarkable. And this wasn't just now. This was at an early age. When his little brother would be at practice, come to practice, and all the other kids are playing after practice, having fun, he immediately turned his focus to his little brother. And that's important to me because that's about family. And when you start to think about him not complaining while he was doing something that most people don't want to do, and when you think about him shifting his focus from playing football to his family and his little brother, those are some of the reasons why he is the award recipient today. And with that, I'd love to present Lawrence Knowles III.
Good evening, everybody. I'd just like to congratulate all the award recipients. We've all done work in our communities, and I'm glad that this ceremony is being held for us to be recognized for our hard work. I'd like to thank my family in the back. You can see all of them for being the foundation. I'd like to thank all of them for kind of setting up the foundation for me to be successful in life. The analogy I use to describe them is give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you give him a pole, you feed him for a lifetime. Instead of kind of giving me the fish and not letting me learn life on my own, they gave me the rod and let me go fill it out for myself, which helped. And then I'd like to thank Coach Howard Griffith for being an outlet for me to get into football, having an amazing program, Hyde Park Junior Spartans, be the best youth football team. Yeah. I'd like to thank Coach Kearney, Chris Kearney, for nominating me and allowing me to be here in this room with all these other great athletes. And with that being said, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
I had the pleasure. I had the pleasure to meet, talk a little bit with Lawrence and meet his brother, and I can tell you that the relationship between them is undeniable. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's impressive. And next we're going to go to another impressive young man. I would like to bring up retired head coach Mike Rolando from St. Edward Central to introduce his son, Luciano Rolando.
Retired. I think that was the first time I've ever been introduced as retired. Last season was my last season. 18 years as a head coach at St. Ed's. Just honored and blessed to be here again. This is the 5th time I've had the pleasure and honor of introducing someone at one of these ceremonies. I am humbled every time I hear these young people speak and hear about what they've done and hear about what football has taught them. So it encouraged me to want to get back here. I've nominated 6 players in 18 years, and 5 of them were winners. So Chris knows if we were going to nominate someone, they were going to be the best caliber. We've had all-state players, we've had academic all-state players. We've had people give in the community, but if you don't check all the boxes, they don't get nominated. So very honored to just be here and be in the presence of such awesome young people. They make me feel like I didn't accomplish much when I was growing up. I like to think I've, you know, been successful since, and got a great wife and a great family, and but these guys are on the fast track to accomplish some amazing things, and being here today to introduce another player is fantastic. So my defensive coordinator actually made the nomination this year. As you heard, Luciano is my son. Those of you that have been around football, which is everybody in this room, knows it's kind of hard to get any accolades from your dad if he's a coach. You know, there's always room for improvement. There's someone else to deflect the recognition to. So being here today is extremely exciting for me. I'm excited to show the accolades that my son has earned and deserved. I'm grateful to Coach Mark and to Coach Steve for nominating him. His principal submitting letters of recommendation, his band teacher, as you heard earlier. Luciano is the one that played the national anthem with the band before our homecoming game. Just a great young man, and I'm glad to be up here. I'm glad Coach Mark put forth the nomination, which obviously I fully support. You know, Luch is a kid that is taking the things from football that you want people to learn as a coach. You're not here to teach them how to run and kick and throw passes. You want them to learn leadership, respect, pride, discipline, all of those things. And if they can take those out of your program, they're going to win somewhere else, regardless of what it's in, whether it's being a husband, being an employee, being whatever. You want them to be successful in what they're going to do down the road. And hearing the things that people said about Luciano makes me feel like he got the big picture. He was not told to play in the national anthem. I actually gave him an out. I said, if you guys don't want to do this, you don't have to. And he said, no, we're part of that team as well. We need to play that national anthem. I said, okay. We're getting ready for a game over here, but okay. Football coach in me coming out, but again, he was more mature than I was, and so fully supported that. You know, Brian Urlacher came to bless our field. We were the school that killed their field about 10 years ago, if you remember, that was in the news. But he came out after Scott's resided it, and he had our kids all in the gym and kind of asked, what are the 2 things that you can control in life? And of course, all the high school boys don't know what to say. And Luch at the time was 6 or 8 years old, and he stands up in the bleachers and said, attitude and effort. And Urlacher was like, holy cow. Yes, young man, that is right. And those words really apparently resonated with Luch at an early age. He has been all attitude and effort 100% ever since. Tucking him into bed when he's 8 years old, he jumps up and, Dad, I didn't do my push-ups. It's okay, you can do them tomorrow. I was on this thing, I'd do 50 a day or 100 a day or whatever I told him he was going to do. And so he gets out of bed, does them, gets back in bed. So just kind of some examples of the character and the type of person Luciano is. On the football field, he was our leading rusher. As a quarterback, he was our leading passer. Most rushing touchdowns, most passing touchdowns, most sacks. He also played defensive end, didn't come off the field. Probably not a lot of quarterbacks leading the team in sacks. So on the field, just a true leader, playing all the special teams, not coming off the field. Really was our heart and soul on the field. I mentioned this being my last year, so I wanted to kind of walk off the field the last time with Luciano. And he made that a very fun event. Scored 5 touchdowns, ran for 214 yards, and threw for another 111. So I got to walk off in good spirits with my son. Super proud of you, Luch, and I know didn't get to say it a lot in front of everyone else around our football program, but I'm happy to introduce him to you guys and have the honor and the privilege to be around all of you guys. You're very special young people, and enjoy today. And I look forward to hearing every one of you speak. And right now, I have the pleasure of introducing Luciano Rolando.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'd like to start off thanking God, because without Him, none of this would be possible. I'd also like to thank Mr. Chris Kearney and the rest of the board for this opportunity. Very honored to be receiving this award here. I'd like to thank my coach Mark. He's not here with us today, but he nominated me for this award. And thank you to my other coaches, especially my dad and Coach Steve, who are here today. I definitely couldn't be here without them. They've taught me so much about football. Thank you to the rest of my teammates. You can't play football alone, no matter how hard you work, and so I definitely needed those 10 other brothers on the field with me at all times. Thank you to my family. They always supported me. From an early age, my dad has always taught me attitude and effort is always what you can control in a game. You can't control the other team, the refs, or the score, but you can always control how hard you play and what your outcome of the game is. So he's always helped me a lot, taught me all about being a quarterback. When I got to high school, he taught me a few more lessons about pride, respect, hard work, discipline, teamwork, and academic excellence. These are some values that I really cherish in my life. I try to live them every single day. I learned them on the football field, but they can really go to anything that you want in life, relationships, work, anything. So yeah, thank you to all of you for listening to me. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Luciano, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. Maybe you can give me the start with those push-ups. I can start with 10 a day, and I'll feel good about it. Because, Howard, I need them. That's for sure. Congratulations to Lawrence as well. Next up, we salute former Illinois State Redbirds linebacker Boomer Grigsby. What a great football name. What a great football player. The first from Illinois State to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. His Hall of Fame class was enshrined in December. It includes fellow NFL players and All-Americans like Penn State's LeVar Arrington, Stanford's Andrew Luck, Fighting Illini's Mo Gardner, former Bear, the late Rashaan Salam, and Texas Tech's Michael Crabtree. Boomer honored on campus in late September by head coach Brock Speck, sports information director Mike Williams, and Chris Carney, and on the field during the game against SIU. Boomer could not join us today from his home in Las Vegas, but it's always great to introduce Coach Speck. He's got some remarks to share about Boomer and what that Hall of Fame induction means to Illinois State. Brock Speck, everybody.
Well, thank you everybody for inviting us here, and I want to thank Chris Carney and all the work he does in the National Football Foundation and the recognition he gives. It's hard to call it amateur football in Division I anymore, but amateur football. Boomer Grigsby is and I want to thank all of you that voted for him in the club here, because that's how this happens, is through your votes, and if you're not a member, I strongly suggest you become one, because that's how we honor our players from our state. But I remember Boomer. I didn't coach him in college. I was a defensive coordinator and linebacker coach at Purdue, and I think it was the last. I was in the last staff that coached in the East-West Shrine game. So that's part of the NFL process. You know, you go through these all-star games, and our staff, Jim Cheney, offensive coordinator, and Coach Tiller was the head coach. I was a defensive coordinator of our team on the East. And then Mike Riley and I believe Paul Christ were at Oregon State. I forget who the DC was over there at that time, but they were in the West. And I had this kid named Boomer Grigsby from Illinois State, and I was from Illinois. And I had three pretty good linebackers in that draft. All three of them got drafted. We had two in the third round, one in the fourth. One played for the Colts, as a matter of fact, in that championship game. But Boomer was, I can tell you, a guy who just loved football. We were asked in the beginning how many people really love football. He loved football, and that's the one thing that he really sticks out. He's come back a few times and talked to our team, and you see his love for the game. He was in it for all the right reasons. And he got drafted in the 5th round, and he went on to play fullback in the NFL. It shows you how much you love football. Not too many guys have over 500 tackles in their career and say, hey, I'm a linebacker, and you get drafted as a fullback. And that's what he did. I think Mikey played for about 5-6 years in the league. We struck up a very good relationship, really good friendship. He's been a big part of the program there. I wish he would have played I wish I'd been ahead in the last couple of years for sure. He's been a great player for us, but he was an unbelievable player, even a better person, and loves the sport of football. I know as I speak to him, and I know he thanks all of you who voted for him, and I just want to reiterate, to emphasize how important it is to have a group like this to get these kids in the Hall of Fame. I played in football here in the state of Illinois. I was a high school player from Rockford. I played out of state at Purdue. It's Chris and I's alma mater. But the team that played for a national championship for us back in 14, in January 15 actually, 63 of the 85 that dressed were from the Chicagoland area. And that just shows how good football it is here, and the kind of kids that play at our level, and any level of football. So a lot of great players and a lot of great people. Again, I want to congratulate all the recipients today. It's a very impressive. When I come here, I've been missing this for 3 years, but I enjoy this evening very much. I know Boomer thanks you, and I appreciate all you've done for him and our university. That's a huge deal for us, having the first player put in the College Football Hall of Fame. So thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Congrats again to Boomer, Mike Williams, and the Redbirds football family. Real quick, we talked about the kids, we talked about coaches, the parents, the driving you to practice when you probably didn't want to go sometimes when you're playing youth football. So the parents get it. I was dad of 2 female athletes. They played 5 sports, 6, or you're constantly gone and you're on the move. And so congratulations to you for this part of the finish line, right? So give yourselves a hand. Great to see University of Chicago running back Nick D'Ambrose here with family, friends, and head coach Todd Gilchrist. Just as Boomer was the first from ISU to enter the College Football Hall of Fame, Nick is the first from UFC to be a finalist for the NFF's William V. Campbell Trophy, commonly known as the Academic Heisman. Nick is from Addison, a first-team All-America running back, 12 school records, also a 2-time academic All-American, a neuroscience major, and on track to enter medical school and receive the UFC's Stag Medal as the top senior with all-around performance in athletics, academics, and character. Extremely impressive, to say the least. A pleasure to introduce Nick to discuss his experiences and his well-deserved recognition from the National Football Foundation. Thanks for being here. Nick D'Ambrose.
Congrats. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you to the Chicago Bears organization for hosting this awesome event. Chris Carney for putting together, and I'd like to say thank you to the NFF for selecting me as a William Campbell Trophy finalist and for allowing me to speak at this prestigious event. It's truly a blessing to be associated and now a member of the National Football Foundation, the organization at the forefront of using football as a vehicle to instill character qualities in our nation's youth. Additionally, I would like to thank the University of Chicago, the athletics department, and our football team. The balancing of academics with athletics at University of Chicago provides a unique and fertile ground for scholar athletes to embark on a pilgrimage of personal growth and that's conducive to successes in future endeavors. So I really like to thank the University of Chicago. Thank you to my family who's sitting over there for their relentless love and persistent support. Without this, none of this journey would have been possible. I'm very lucky to be a member of the D'Ambrose family. And congratulations to the rest of the 2023 award recipients. Your long-term passion and determination for a goal for a goal or grit has paid off. Like the defense coordinator was talking about. In the face of failures, being able to face adversity head on and push through it. And all of you guys have done that to a significant degree here. And congratulations. Having just finished my 17th and final season of football, I've been transitioning away from the life of a student athlete. Been a student athlete basically my whole life. And this transitionary period has been marked with reflection about what the game of football has meant to me and what it means to so many others. And submersed in this transitory period of reflection and thought, I came across a football film titled Gridiron Gang, if any of you guys have seen it. In this movie, Sean Porter, who's played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, works at a juvenile detention center in LA. He becomes frustrated at not being able to help these youth get away from their problems in life when they're released from the center, such as street gangs and drug dealings. Pertaining to this matter, he references the high percentage of juveniles coming through this program that when they're released, they end up returning back to the detention center a bit later. Deciding to create a football team with the motivation that these boys and women, we have wonderful women recipients today, wanted to be a part of something. A team would help them. He believes that football will teach these inmates what it takes to be responsible, mature, and disciplined winners. Embarking on this journey throughout the ebbs and the flows, the football team becomes a tight-knit group that upholds a disciplined winning standard, defined by doing the hard right over the easy wrong. Rival gang members who've lost friends to each other at the hands of each other move past their differences due to the lessons learned on the gridiron and the disciplines instilled by being a part of a football team. In the end, an overwhelming majority of players change their life trajectory, going on to continue education and move away from a life of crime. After watching this film, honestly, it brought a tear to my eye because this was a true story that, in my mind, substantiates the impact that lessons on the gridiron can play in reality in real life. It speaks volumes on the strong potential football has for developing the youth into moral and compassionate adults with character qualities that will serve them in life and on their journey to future successes. The values required to be successful in the ultimate team sport directly transfer to being a successful member of a community, family, and a team. Ultimately, I found that participation in football provides adequate tools, skills, and disciplines for individuals, priming them to become forces of change in a society where there are so many sources of darkness, forces of light in the society. To conclude, I am extremely honored to have been selected as a Campbell Trophy finalist. I wish to continually give back to the game, as I know its extreme potential for instilling great character qualities in our nation's youth. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nick. Impressive. Nice job. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Three very impressive high school seniors now will receive the NFF soccer, I'm thinking of my daughter, see? Soccer on the Brain Scholar Athlete Award, or maybe I just need glasses, for their excellence in the classroom, on the football field, and the community. Each received $5,000 paid directly to the college of their choice to reduce their tuition if they are not on scholarship. These award recipients follow in the footsteps of people like former Bear wide receiver Brian Bashnagel, Andrew Luck, our guy Tom Waddle, great Dave Casper, and of course, the Sheriff, Peyton Manning. First to the podium, Lincoln Way East head football coach Rob Zonar. Coach Z has built an impressive football program, sustained success, and state championships. Thanks to Coach Z for being here to tell us about offensive lineman Brad Abbott. See, the sustained success, that's what we're going for with the Bears.
Thank you so much to the National Football Foundation and Chris Carney for providing and facilitating this tremendous award. Congratulations to all the award winners here today, especially Sarah. Maybe we can talk about a transfer portal here to Lincoln Way East. Amateur sports, right? It's with great pleasure I introduce Brad Abbott as the winner of the prestigious National Football Foundation Scholarship Athlete Award, an award that encompasses excellence on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. I can assure you that Brad Abbott more than checks off each of these boxes. On the field, Brad was a 3-year starter, team captain, 2-time first-team all-conference and all-area selection, leading us to a 28-4 record in his time on the varsity, including that special 6-game COVID spring season. As they say, it takes some special arms and legs to achieve a successful football season, but it also takes great heart and soul. And that's exactly what Brad Abbott provided to our football team each and every day. As good as he was on the field, Brad was even better in the classroom. Brad has earned a 4.42 GPA on a 4.0 scale and scored a 34 on the ACT. An ACT second only in Lincoln Way East football history to his good buddy and last year's teammate Patrick Isom, who also won this award with an incredible 36 ACT. Brad's a 2-time academic all-state selection, an AP scholar with distinction, and a member of the National Honor Society, and a member of both the Mathematics and Science Honor Societies as well. In addition, Brad has shined greatly in his service to our community and to his fellow man. He's given his time to multiple organizations and clubs throughout his high school career, including the American Cancer Society, the Cancer Support Center, as well as the Frankfurt Falcon and Frankfurt Square Wildcat youth football organizations. Brad Abbott is a young man with impeccable character who simply does what is right. He's one of the most dependable and conscientious young men we have had the honor of coaching in the past 30 years. A quick testament to Brad's dependability: between our workouts, practices, and games, the Lincoln Way East football program has approximately 200 days of organized activities per year. Over his 4 years, Brad Abbott has missed exactly 0 of those days. Brad, you're the math guy, but that's like 800 out of 800 or something. And most of the time, he was the first one there. Brad, that might be looked upon quite favorably by a future employee of yours. As for his future, Brad has had many elite academic institutions recruit him as a student athlete. He is anxiously awaiting for his final acceptance into the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I just knew MIT, now I knew what it stands for. Where he would continue his academic and football career while majoring in computer science with plans to pursue a career as a software engineer. Brad, we're going to keep our fingers crossed and say our prayers, as you certainly deserve that admittance. Brad, we're proud of you, we love you, and we thank you for all that you've done for the Lincoln Way East football program, Lincoln Way East High School, and for our community. Congratulations on receiving this prestigious award.
I feel so honored to be here standing in front of all of you today. I cannot be more thankful for everything that the National Football Foundation has done for me as well. But honestly, I don't think I could have made it here without my parents. Both of you guys worked around my long summer days and made time for me on Friday nights, and encouraged me to get going since I first started playing many years ago. Thank you both so much. I also really want to thank all my coaches and teammates over the years. Football has provided me with many things, but one that I will never forget is my teammates, many of which have become my closest friends, and I trust with my whole heart. Ever since last January, all I saw around me was a group of men who wanted to win like it was our only option. I can't say that I've met anyone who has worked as hard with as much persistence as the guys around me. This persistence became contagious, spreading throughout the whole locker room. And more, my coaches worked even harder, putting in the time every day to watch hours of film from our practices, giving us all the tips they can to fix each discrepancy we had in our next practice. Every single practice, my teammates and I came out better than the previous day, all thanks to our coaches. I want to specifically thank Coach Z, who from the first day I met him expected nothing but success. And not just from me, but from every single player in our team. No matter where they were on the depth chart or how big or how strong they were. Just do all that they were physically possible of achieving. Doing your part for the people around you, the mentality that he instilled in us still sticks with me and will for the rest of my life. I also really want to thank Coach Sweeper and Coach Augie, who aren't here today, but they treated me and my fellow offensive linemen like family, caring for us more than just on the field. They both demanded perfection from everyone in my position to make sure we are all about just perfect at the end of the day. All of these experiences and values instilled in me from football purely shaped the person I am, and for that, I can't possibly thank any of my coaches or teammates. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, last year was the first time the state of Illinois had a state championship for girls flag football. That's right. That's right. And the best player in Illinois and the best player on the best team was Willowbrook High School's Sarah Ball. She's been featured on NFL Network, and she was widely recognized this month at the NFL Pro Bowl and East-West Shrine Bowl. State championship coach Nick Hildreth is here to introduce us to Sarah Ball. Flag football is now a force to be reckoned with, and the NFL is solely behind it, and one day it will be an Olympic sport. That's my prediction. Anyway, Nick, thanks to you and Rachel Karros for joining us today. Nick Hildreth.
Last time I had the privilege of being here before, and Jeff told me I did a good job after, so that's throwing me off now. You know what I mean? If somebody like that tells you did a good job talking, you hope not to have to come back again. I was hoping I never, yeah.
You know, rise above.
That's it. So with that being said, last time I was here, I referenced football fraternity and how vast it is and how special it is, but it's pretty gender specific. And to have the opportunity to be around somebody like Sarah Ball that has forced her way into that fraternity. And in doing that, just through all the accolades and all the things that she accomplished for our program and for the sport, being featured on NFL Network. They're currently doing a documentary on us now where she is a central focus of that, being interviewed within that. So she forces her way into that fraternity, and the reason she does that is because of the qualities that she has. Extremely intelligent, hardworking, selfless, somehow has the innate ability, better than anybody I've ever coached, to bring everybody along with her and her work ethic. You don't see that all the time. Very often your best players are they're going to do what they need to do and do their part, but are able to bring everybody along and do the exact same thing within that. So she's able to do that. Now, we've all been around people who have those great qualities, and they have those great qualities, and some of them don't go on to do the things you would anticipate because of those qualities and what they're capable of. It's those very, very few that have those qualities and then are able to bring that to something bigger than themselves within what that is. And that's special. Like, those are the very, very few that do have those qualities and have the ability to then execute something that is bigger and more important than just themselves. And that's impressive. That's where it moves to the culture of our program. And it's an honor to be up here at an event like this with Coach Spencer, Coach Ron, who took over programs and took that culture of those programs to an entire new level, and winning multiple national championships and doing things like that, where something was established and they moved it to a new level, put their own twist on it, and moved it. When you start something that doesn't exist, has never existed, goes against the grain, and you establish like that standard and what that culture is going to be for something that has never been, that's different. That's different, that's special, and that isn't the same. I've been fortunate enough to be around tackle football for almost 20 years, but tackle football existed before I got there. It's going to continue to exist. Starting something and creating it and being what the culture is identified as forever and ever and ever in the state of Illinois and at Willowbrook High School, that's different. That's different, that's special. And I want to take the opportunity to thank our co-coach, Coach Karros, and Sarah for allowing me to be a part of a different and really a more special fraternity, and that's female athletics. That's girls flag football, and that's different. And I at one point, Coach Karros told the girls I could be an honorary girl as they started the girls athletic club. So I really appreciate that, and really I take that as an honor. And Sarah, I value you. I value the time that I got to coach you. There's never been a more impactful athlete than I've been around. I value what you've brought to our community, our school, girls in our community, my daughter specifically. And again, I'm not surprised you won this award. You deserve this award. I'm looking forward to everything that you are going to accomplish. And it's been an absolute honor just to be a part of your senior year and what you're going to do going forward. Looking forward to it. Sarah Ball.
Thank you, Hildreth, and thank you, Chris Carney, for having me here. It's such an honor to be the first ever female flag football player here among all these amazing other recipients here. Growing up, I've noticed the many disparities of male athletics versus female athletics, such as lack of support for my games and meets, being told always growing up that I was very fast for a girl, very strong for a girl, but could be outperformed by a guy, and being excluded from ever playing football at recess as a kid growing up. So I can tell you that I never would have expected the National Football Foundation to select me as a recipient for their Scholar Athlete Scholarship on a list full of male candidates. And being able to recognize me and my credentials in spite of my gender and my sport in spite of its relatively new emergence. So thank you so much for that. I'm also beyond thankful for everything that being a part of this team has brought to me. Being able to learn a new sport for the first time as a senior in high school is definitely couldn't have expected that, and I couldn't have asked for a better team and better coaches to do it with. Never has a team that I've been a part of been able to be so in the moment throughout the whole season. We didn't start this season with the goal of winning the conference title or the state title or the regional title or qualifying for nationals or any of the opportunities that were given to us. We just wanted to create something together that we could grow for the future generations of girls at Willowbrook and throughout the nation and just have some fun while doing it. But we were able to build a family out of strangers who loved and supported each other through everything. So although the winning has been awesome, it's the fight that we went through together to get to each win that I value the most. And at the base of that family are caretakers that have led this team with nothing but passion and love, our mom and dad, Karos and Hildreth. Having had Karos as a volleyball coach, I already knew of her determination and drive, her unwillingness to give up on her team, and her big heart that cares for everyone, regardless of their athletic ability. As for Hilly, who I only knew of as the head football coach, I was unsure about, honestly, because he only coached boys before, and I didn't expect him to understand us or enjoy coaching us as much as his guys, but I was wrong. Both of these humans cleared any expectation I possibly could have had for them. Their dedication, their faith in us, and most of all, the vulnerability that they showed us, no matter how hard it may have been, changed my view of this sport, my view of all sports I've been a part of, and my view of life. They've given me two selfless role models to look up to and aspire to become, both as an athlete and a teammate to every team I'm going to be part of moving forward. Additionally, it's been a focus for our team to expand the sport of flag football for future youth and high school athletes, which we've been able to do within our school and community as girls flag football becomes, there's feeder programs developing in Villa Park, and also with the Chicago Bears with David Montgomery, who we recently got to hold a clinic with at Round Lake High School to spread the sport and expose new girls, both middle school and high school levels, to the sport of flag football. Being part of this team has definitely been one of the best experiences of my life, and I hope the sport spreads so the future generations of flag players can experience the same. And so other little girls that didn't play football at recess get scholarships for school and can become college and pro athletes. With that being said, thank you so much for this award, which to me represents a step forward for female athletics and for the sport of flag football. And thank you to my mom and dad, who have been there with me throughout this entire experience, this whole year. I know it was scary for you. It scared of a lot of injuries, but thank you so much for supporting me. And thank you to Gus Silva for this whole year and encouraging our team and supporting us, giving us all the opportunities, and to everybody here. Thank you so much.
Anybody see that? It was an Instagram or Twitter? I don't know. I'm only a Twitter guy, so which one was it? Twitter. Check it out. Darnell Mooney gave her a big shout out because a very similar catch for the very athletically gifted and leaper Darnell Mooney, but you made one hell of a catch. Was that your best of all time?
I don't think so.
Uh-oh. Love the confidence. I got two of you in my family, so, I can't, yeah. Where are you headed?
Case Western Reserve University.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I do a lot of speaking to their journalism class every year. It's a great school, great program. Congratulations to Sarah. All right, I've been watching over here. We're watching my guy. Former Bears running back Jason McKee in the house, making his debut at this award ceremony after a standout career at Temple and 7+ years in the NFL as a bad man at fullback. Bad man. Jason is Carmel Catholic's head football coach. He knows excellence when he sees it, and he nominated Luke Serwin for the NFF Scholar Athlete Award. An honor to welcome the former Chicago Bear and current head coach at Carnegie. How's it going? Nice to see you.
I got to correct Jeff. 9 years.
I didn't write it.
Howard knows we take all the years, right, Howard?
Stand corrected.
First off, I want to thank Chris Kearney and the National Football Foundation for having this event, along with Chicago Bears for hosting it. I want to thank all the recipients receiving awards today. You guys have tremendous resumes, and I look forward to seeing you build on that resume in the future. So I have the opportunity to introduce somebody that's real special to me. I think he's the first recipient of this award at Carmel Catholic High School. So with that being said, I had the privilege of coaching Luke Serwin since he was a freshman. And since day one, he's been an example of what the standard is. He's constantly setting an example of what we as a football program want our Corsair student athletes to be. I can go on and talk about his academics excellence. I can talk about his athletic achievement. But the quality, I think his biggest quality is his ability to be a multiplier and make people around him better. He's made me a better coach. He's made his teammates better people. But the main thing he's done is he's been such tremendous impact in our community, displaying servant leadership while volunteering. To Luke's parents, John and Lori Serwin, I commend you on the job well done. I also want to thank you for allowing Luke to be a part of our football family. Selfishly, I wish we had Luke for another 4 years, but I know we got to let him go. So Luke, with that being said, Coach has his popcorn ready. I look forward to seeing you conquer more goals in the future. And with that being said, I'd like to present to you Luke Serwin.
I would just like to start out by thanking the National Football Foundation, Chicago Metro Chapter, for this wonderful award and scholarship. I also want to congratulate the other awardees, Brad Abbott and Sarah Ball. The essence of football is adversity, and I'm sure all three of us have had to go through a lot of it on the football field, in the classroom, and in our communities. I also want to give a big thanks to my family. I will forever be grateful to my mom and dad who always believed in me, even when I failed or wanted to give up. They gave me the courage to follow my dreams no matter how crazy they seemed. Another important person to mention and thank is my older brother Jake. He's the largest inspiration and influence in my life, and I couldn't imagine where I'd be without him. He taught me that the hard work you learn in football doesn't just apply to the field, but it also applies to your classroom and in your community as well. Finally, I want to thank my Carmel Catholic football coaches, both of which spent several years here at Halas Hall. My head coach, Jason McKee, was a longtime Bears fullback, and my wide receiver coach, Rasheed Davis, was a longtime Bears wide receiver. In a few short years, Coach McKee, Coach Davis, and all of the other Carmel coaches were able to completely turn around our program. We went from 5 years of terrible losing seasons to a return to the IHSA playoffs this year. And I know that the best is yet to come for Carmel Catholic football and all of my brothers there. Besides this, however, the lessons that these two men taught me are some of the most important things that I will take away from Carmel football. Coach McKee taught me that although I might not be the fastest, biggest, or most athletic kid, I can accomplish anything through hard work and determination. Coach Davis taught me that in football, like in life, I'm going to drop some passes, but what matters most is what I do next and how I react. I will always take forward the many lessons that both of these fine men have instilled in me. In the future, I plan on majoring in biochemistry and going into cancer research. Although these two are completely unrelated to football, I know that the many lessons that I learned through football will be responsible for the hard work and dedication that I put into my future career. In closing, I want to again thank the National Football Foundation, Chicago Metro Chapter, for this wonderful scholarship and award. And I want to let you know that this generous scholarship will not just help me with my future education, but it will also allow me to live out the lessons and ideals that football has taught me. Thank you.
You mentioned Rasheed Davis, and those who don't remember Rasheed as a player, I mean, this guy was almost a miracle that he made an NFL team. Try out as a defensive back, became a wide receiver on a Super Bowl team. So, great story, Rasheed Davis. I'm glad he's giving back. One of the best guys around here as well. The Chicago Bears will stay in the community. I think it's awesome. I was just up here the other day with Matt Forte talking about this very topic. So, the 85 Bears aren't the only ones who stayed around. You know what I mean? These guys are all giving back in various ways. So, tremendous for you, Lou. All right, our next award being presented for the 12th time at this event. The Fred Mitchell Outstanding Place Kicker Award honors the best place kicker in FCS Division II, Division III, NAIA, junior colleges for excellence on the football field and in the community. And as Chris Carney said earlier, more than 750 kickers eligible for the Fred Mitchell Award, and dozens were nominated. Fred's background is a great one. All-America, record-setting place kicker at Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio, and many of us know how civic-minded Fred was throughout his 41 years at the Chicago Tribune. Naming this award after Fred is a fitting tribute to such a tremendous person, and the accolades keep on coming for Fred, who was inducted into the American Football Kicking Hall of Fame in 2013, following such legends as George Blanda, who played for the Chicago Bears, if you're not aware of that, Kevin Butler, Ray Guy, who just passed away, Lou Groza, and Jan Stenerud in the Hall of Fame's 5th class. In 2016, Fred received Wittenberg University's Alumnus of the Year Award for his above and beyond service to the school. Close friend to all of us journalists here in the Chicagoland area, which I've been a part of over 32 years, 34 years. See, I even shorted myself, buddy. Please welcome me in joining Fred Mitchell to the podium to introduce the recipient of the Fred Mitchell Award. Good, buddy.
Thank you, Jeff. It's so good for us to be here in person. We can't take things like that for granted after the past few years. So glad to see everybody. This marks yet another year of our presentation of the Fred Mitchell Award. And while kicking excellence has been a constant every year, each winner has brought a unique journey, a different story when it comes to achieving his dreams. Our 2022 winner is no different, as Ethan Getman has burst onto the national scene with a record-setting season at Bryant University in Smithfield, Rhode Island. He led all of the FCS schools in field goal percentage, 93.3%. And he punctuated that with a school record 56-yard field goal. He also had a clutch 37-yard field goal as time expired to give his team a 31-29 victory over Long Island University. For us here in Chicago, it's meaningful or interesting to note that over the years, Ethan has received kicking tutelage in Florida from Dan Lundy, who also has worked with current Bears kicker Carlos Santos. So there. One of the great joys in life for me is to be able to personally call each winner of our award to give him the good news and hear his reaction. This year certainly was no different because I was able to deliver the message to him via Zoom with his head coach, Chris Merritt, also on the call. I'd like to remind people that many of the greatest kickers in NFL history have come from some smaller colleges. In fact, the NFL's all-time leading scorer is Adam Vinatieri, who went to South Dakota State, which is Division II when he graduated in 1996. And Tom Dempsey, who held the NFL record for the longest field goal from 63 yards for many decades, went to Palomar Junior College in California. So it doesn't matter whether you're kicking in front of 3,000 or 4,000 fans or 100 1,000 fans. You're really competing against the field. And a 50-yard field goal is a 50-yard field goal regardless. What garnered the attention of our 35-man Fred Mitchell Award Selection Committee was Ethan's accuracy and distance, which also included a high percentage of touchbacks or kickoffs. As a junior, Ethan has become only the third underclassman to win the Fred Mitchell Award. Tom Lynch from St. Xavier won the award in 2010 and 2011, and Louis Aguilar of Northern Arizona won as a junior in 2019. So, before I go any further, I would like to congratulate all the other winners of the various awards this evening. Well done. It's always special for me to see many familiar faces, former Bears players, current and former high school football coaches, Pro Football Hall of Famers, and just general supporters of the National Football Foundation. Special thanks go out to the Fred Mitchell Award Selection Committee, especially top-notch Chairman Rob Perry and National Football Foundation Chicago Chapter Chairman Chris Carney. Without Chris, there would be no Fred Mitchell Award. So, thanks.
Without Fred, there'd be no Fred.
Also, all the committee members, Wolf Tone, Todd Wilkins, Connie Colwell, Jeff Michaelshek, Carl Lagretti, anybody else I may have missed. It means so much to me and to the National Football Foundation with the efforts that you put forth. We invite all of you out there to visit our website, fredmitchellaward.com, and read up on the esteemed list of selection committee members for this award, which includes several pro football and college football Hall of Famers. Best wishes to all of our past Fred Mitchell Award winners in their continuing pursuit to either land a professional kicking job or take their life lessons and education to achieve lofty goals in the exciting work world. Our list of exceptional kicking candidates each year seems to increase, making the task of picking the winner more challenging, but we are as proud as we can be with the choice that we have made this year. All of the finalists have displayed impressive credentials, which also includes community service, which is an important criteria. Just as impressive as Ethan's community service and association with positive initiatives match his kicking excellence as well. It's been my pleasure to meet this quality young man and his parents, Joe and Allison, who are in attendance here this evening. We had a nice lunch yesterday downtown, and they made the trip from Florida so they could enjoy the fine weather up here. So, following literally in the footsteps of our previous esteemed winners since 2009, which includes Jeff Shebler, Tom Lynch, Patrick Murray, Sergio Castillo, Tom Obarski, Matt Catigula, who's here, Matt Davis, Cole Tracy, Louis Aguilar, Rodan Alcobendas, and Ethan Radke last year. We could not be any prouder than to present the 2022 Fred Mitchell Award to Ethan Getman of Bryant University and welcome him to our family.
I would first like to thank Mr. Mitchell and all the members of the voting committee. This award is truly humbling, and thank you for putting a spotlight on how important the kicking game really is. Just ask the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 25, wide right. And we can forget the Chicago Bears in 2019. AKA the double going. Sorry, it still must hurt, but at least you have the 85 Bears. The good news is that for all the misses, there's many historic kicks, such as the New England Patriots with Vinatieri, most recently the Kansas City Chiefs with Harrison Butker. I'd also like to thank Bryant University, especially my teammates, who mean everything to me. They say football is the ultimate team sport, and I couldn't agree more. We tend to forget just how important the other aspects of the field goal operation is, the snap, the hold, and the blocking. Honestly, it seems like kicking is the easiest part sometimes. I can't forget my kicking coaches, Coach Lundy and Coach Tanowski. I don't think they'll ever realize just how many lives they've impacted. Finally, I would like to thank my parents for supporting me through all the good and all the challenging times, especially when things get tough. One thing I like most about this award is the focus on community service. We are sometimes so focused on ourselves and meeting our individual goals, we forget about helping others and how others may not be as lucky as we. Again, thank you so much for this award. I'm truly privileged to be part of this special group of individuals. I honestly didn't know very much about this award until a few months ago. Just being around all you makes this even more special. Thank you so much.
You know, my broadcast partner top there was here. He'd be in here. I'm throwing him under the bus, but Freddie always kickers. He always says that, Tom. You know. But I'll tell you, you sparked something for me because, and I've told this story before, but those who've been here. So Bob Thomas became an Illinois Supreme Court justice. He just retired. One of the great guys. Loves football, but in '85, the Bears draft Kevin Butler, and Bob Thomas was the kicker in '84, and now they're competing, and he gets cut. Well, Butler, had an unbelievable rookie year, and he goes back to the locker room at Old Halas Hall, and he tells this story much better than I, but he was very upset, crying, dark locker room, and it's like a light shining on his locker, and he goes to his locker, and he's sitting there, and all of a sudden there's this, it scares him. Somebody was in his locker and rustling underneath his equipment and stuff, and here was Walter Payton. And he sat for the entire time during practice, missing practice, to console Bob Thomas, who would go on to have a great post-career. That's how great Walter was, too. So Bob Thomas, man, that is one good dude right there. He had a big impact, which all of you who play the game, all of you who play collegiate sports, it's an open runway to whatever you want to do in life, and that's a perfect example. Congrats again, Ethan. All right, a special treat now. We ask Matt Ron, Brad Spencer to join me on stage. Some of today's attendees might not know that these two Chicago area individuals had two college football national champions in December that Chris Carney outlined. We've honored teams for making it to the national championship game in the past with St. Xavier University, Illinois State, North Central College when they won it back in 2019, but this is the first time we know about two national champs from our area. Brad Spencer played for North Central College, Matt Ron played for College of DuPage, and now they've led championship teams at their alma mater. COD, in fact, has won 2 straight national titles, and NCC won in 19 and now in 2022. Please welcome Coach Spencer and Coach Ron. How you doing? Jeff Jones. Brad? Coach? I'm going to stay right here. Good to see you. All right, gentlemen. First of all, Hurricane?
I've been called that a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about Hurricane.
It was a college story, probably not appropriate.
Okay. Sometimes I do too much homework. Actually, do we have another wireless mic by chance? Oh, okay. Because you guys don't want, you want to look at them, not me. All right, well, while she looks for that. So congratulations to both of you guys. And I know you play a lot of football. And when I, at the outset, said, oh, you got to love football. You really got to love football to do what you did. I'm going to start with you because you played in absolutely every arena league possible, if I'm not mistaken. So you can't find 53 guys every year in the NFL that absolutely love the game. They love the paycheck sometimes, but you got to love the game to do what you did. Why did you do that?
Probably because therapy's expensive. It's a great game, and it teaches you so many valuable lessons. And actually, my first year playing post-college was on Steve McMichael's team, and he was my first head football coach at the arena level. And he would always say that all the guys that are complaining about their injuries, post-football career and everything, every one of them would go do it again. They'd play a snap again, and I truly believe that's the case, because you got to have something wrong with you to love this game and put yourself through that pain, and you got to love it, but it's a great game.
Brad, you come from a long line of Spencers out there in Naperville, right? So your grandfather was a coach, very successful, so that was in your blood, you were born into it, right?
A little bit. Grandfather was a coach, and my dad started his career coaching. My grandpa actually graduated, and my grandma, from North Central College. Grandpa played football there. Ended up being the head football coach at Naperville Central. It was Naperville Community at the time. When Naperville North, Naperville Central play each other at North Central College every year, it's called the West Spencer Crosstown Classic. So there's a little bit of football in our blood. My wife, who's here with me today, is in North Central alum as well. My brother graduated from North Central, so a little bit of blood on the bricks, as our baseball coach likes to say.
All right, so you guys are champions. When did you know? Because I go back 2001, Jim Miller was the Bears starting quarterback, and he wrote on a piece of going to be championship caliber. Start with Matt.
We recruit a different type of kid at the College of DuPage. It's not very atypical of junior college football. We have a lot of qualifiers, guys that have done well academically that don't need junior college, guys that just feel are under-recruited and want to take the chance on the 19, 20-year-old version of themselves in recruiting. So we got a different type of kid. We got a kid that's not at junior college because they have to. We have kids that chose junior college to get a better opportunity, and this is what we expect out of our kids. Like we know coming into it, as long as our kids don't have mental breakdowns or completely get out of character, that we have a shot at winning it every year.
Yeah, I mean, when I took over as head coach, I think I was pretty confident that we had a great group of coaches and players to have a chance. As said before, I think by either Coach Spack or Coach Williams, a lot of things have to go your way. The ball's got to bounce your way. There's a lot of uncontrollables in football that you can't worry about. What the refs call, how the football bounces, injuries, the weather, all those things. But it was a good group of seniors. It was a great group of seniors. And so I think through winter workouts, spring ball, summer workouts, come back into camp, you could see that the pieces were there. I know for our guys, there's some pivotal wins throughout the season that certainly, I think, helped our trajectory. Our semifinal win against Mary Hardin Baylor, we lost to them in the national championship by 30 last year and came back and beat them this year in the semis by 35. So I think that was a point where everybody kind of went, let's do this thing. And but I don't know that there's any one specific moment.
Oh, see, that was my follow-up. I'm big on this. People get irritated with me. I'm like, hey, was there one particular play? Like, some series, some play call, something like that, something that somebody overcame this.
It's not a play call.
Now's your chance.
No, it's the players that get it done. I think for us, it's just in the preparation every week and preparing the same every week. And that's how you get some lopsided scores, and that's how you prepare for a close game. If you prepare the same every single week, and you get to a national championship, there's nothing different that you have to do. Law specificity, you've already practiced it, you've already been there. We've already played that game 14 times, and so our guys were ready. And it helps also that you have 3 classes of guys that have been in that game before. They understand the short week, they understand the travel. We were playing a team that we've beaten the last 2 years in a row. Is kind of the big dog in Division III football. So I think our guys had a lot of confidence. I know they were really excited to play them again in the national title and have a chance to beat them in the national title.
Matt, would you share the same kind of context? Not one particular moment that kind of said, well, this team is headed for something special.
Yeah, so with the junior college landscape, we got Division I, Division III. There is no Division II. And it's broken down basically by scholarship and non-scholarship. And although we're Division III, we basically play a Division I schedule. So we started the season 4-0, Our first one was against a Division I team, and then, we're riding high and happy on that, and we played the number 6 team in the nation at the Division I level, and they really beat the brakes off us that game. So it was a humbling experience for our kids, and I could definitely tell, because we didn't have the leadership that we had from the year before, but the look in those kids' eyes in practice the next week, that it humbled them up enough that they know that they can't get fat, dumb, and happy up there, and they got to go out and compete every week in order to do what we got to do.
In terms of your philosophies for your particular programs, do you have a theme that you really entrench in these guys? I'll start with you, Matt, and what might that be?
The level up philosophy. So like I said, we got a lot of guys that come to our program because they didn't have what they wanted out of high school. We really strike gold with Coach Spencer's team, and a lot of those kids on this team could play Division I football, no doubt in my mind. We try to identify guys that might be a year or two away from playing at the Division I level and being able to earn a scholarship at that level. So we seek those guys out and get them in the strength conditioning program, make sure their academics are taken care of, and really put them in a position to level themselves up.
Yeah, for us, I mean, a lot of the coaches have said some of the things in terms of having standards, having requirements, and making sure that your teammates and your coaches are holding each other to those standards, and calling teammates up to the standard when they're not meeting it. If you're not, that's when I think complacency sets in, and that's when cracks in foundations start. If you look at a football game and if there's mistakes made, or if a team has bad chemistry, or if guys are loafing, that didn't just show up that night. That didn't just show up that afternoon. That crack in the foundation started months ago, maybe years ago, with a coach or a player allowing it to happen. And so I think continuing to not only hold expectations and raise standards, but holding your teammates to those standards. And for us, we're able to do that. The foundation, Coach was talking about it, the foundation for us is relationships. Player to player, coach to coach, coach to player. And it's a little bit like a family, but if you think of a family, families aren't perfect, but families do love each other. And if you have love and you have relationships, then you're able to be really honest with each other. You're able to hold each other to a standard because you know that where that's coming from is a real place. And you know that person who is trying to call you up to that standard loves you and respects you and is only doing it for your own good. So, going back to that relationship piece, going back to, creating ways, creating shared experiences for our players to get to know each other, our players to get to love each other. I mean, at the end of the day, football's blocking and tackling. I mean, shiny field, shiny weight room, shiny cleats, shiny visors, they're great, but they don't win you a single football game. It's blocking and tackling. And if you get your players to love each other and to play really hard for each other, now all of a sudden when it's late in the game, they're not tired, they're not hurt, they're just playing for the guy next to them.
All right, we'll continue on with you. What's been the aftermath like of winning the championship, and how did you guys celebrate each individual story?
Sleep. See my wife and my kids for the first time in 5 months. It's been great. We have such great support at North Central, our administration, all the way up to our president. So the support that we get on campus is phenomenal, and it's needed at our level. This is in Alabama where you have unlimited budgets, and football isolates in a silo. We need the support of our faculty. We need the support of our administration. You're kind of, as a coach, and Coach could probably speak to this, you're kind of caught in this dual universe where with your team, when you're with your team, you've moved on. But when you're talking with recruits, you're still talking about the national championship. So as a coach, I feel like we're living a little bit in a dual reality with that. But, I think a lot of us, we've been there before, so it's kind of business as usual. Let's move on and let's get ready. The target on the back is even bigger than it's been. I did have a nice piece on my mantle, though, for Christmas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Coach hit the nail on the head with it all, but yeah, sleep is the one thing that we don't get during the football season that once it's over, that we really do. But For me and my staff, it's more about letting the kids enjoy it. You know, because once that next week starts, we go right on to recruiting. And I'd say the best part about the championship and winning it is all the eyes that it brings on our program and our school. You know, I think the one thing that says about the 2021 championship is that winning it and getting all the eyes on the kids that we did, we sent over 30 guys out with athletic scholarships to different schools around the country. And that's our program level, right? So we're hoping that we're going to even beat that this year with it. So giving kids opportunities that they didn't have before they came to our program.
Yeah, I got to commend you on that. We got a guy here, Jaquan Brisker from Lackawanna Junior College, and it saved his football life. He took a break before he went on to Penn State, got his grades right, and that program has put a lot of players in the National Football League, beyond them.
We played against Jaquan his sophomore year at Lackawanna. They came out to Glen Ellen and played us, yeah.
You're kidding. What happened?
We shut him out. Actually, we threw a touchdown over him in the fourth quarter.
Oh, no. That's awesome. Oh, Jaquan was, I say Jason McKee was a bad man playing fullback. He's a bad man playing safety, and he loves blitzing. Everybody knows who listens to the radio. I love blitzes from the secondary coaches. I love them. So you already said it, Coach Spencer. It's there's a target on the back. So you're going to roll back, and Matt, this town knows about three-peats. So what are we thinking?
Well, that's the plan. You know, we don't recruit and coach to lose. You know, we feel like as long as we keep bringing in kids capable enough to make that next step, grow, develop, and earn opportunities at a level higher, as long as we do that, the wins are going to come with it. So as long as we keep recruiting like we are, stick with our program philosophy, recruit differently than all the other junior colleges in the country, because they're taking, you know, the kids that are kicked out of their schools are losing scholarships, and we're taking kids and developing them into scholarship players. So our philosophy is, as long as we keep doing that, we're going to continue to win.
Yeah, I had a family ask me that in January, you know, well, what's next? And I kind of smiled and laughed and said, do it again.
Yeah.
What other option is there? You know, for us, we're chasing a lot of history. Mount Union's been to 11 in a row. Whitewater's been to 7 in a row. Mount Union's been to 22 overall. So if we're really going to set our eyes high, there's still a lot of work to be done. And you only do it by doing it 1 year at a time, 1 step at a time. And just like we tell our players every week, you can't play Saturday on Tuesday. You know, let's have a great Tuesday practice and great meeting. So right now we're just doing our best as coaches to recruit. Guys are doing a great job in the weight room, and just start putting the pieces together. Every year's a different puzzle. You know, shared with the guys, hey, this is not last year's seniors. This is not last year's team. We want the same result, but how we get there is going to be different, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, congratulations to both, to your programs. Great facilities. I live out in Glen Ellen, so I know very well about College of DuPage. My daughter won a state championship on your campus in Naperville, so that was a treat for me, but great places to go for student athletes too. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you very much. As we wrap up our ceremony, special thanks to those of you that are active in youth and high school football, consistent with the NFF's slogan, building leaders through football. We've seen many shining examples, as we do every year at this event, of that today. Chris, I know you got some final remarks, but thanks again to you and the board of directors for inviting me to host this award ceremony again, and hopefully I can do it for many more years to come. Congratulations to all the families of these student athletes and the student athletes. To you, good luck in your future endeavors, and bear down, people. Bear down. Go Bears.
Big thanks to Jeff Jonia. Jeff is swamped. He does a lot of things. He's going to the NFL Combine next week. He touched on it earlier. That's a fairly important combine for this franchise to scout out. It's not often we get the #1 draft choice here, so we know we've got to excel on that one. So this doesn't happen without all of you today, the high school coaches for nominating their student athletes, the college coaches for being here today. We're going to do a few of the, as Jack Wilkins and Alex are going to take some pictures. Now that we have all the award winners here, the first group, I know some of the college coaches got to hit the road, So if you're a college football coach, go over to the C. We'll get a picture of the group. Next group is going to be the high school student athletes. So grab.
Is moving on, and it would be remiss of us to not thank him profusely for everything that you've done to resurrecting the Chicago Metro chapter, to being the basically impetus for the Fred Mitchell Award and recognizing the great humanitarian that Fred is, who happens to have a great foot. This from a gentleman, and I quote, I'm going to talk to you about the joy and wisdom and opportunity that is football from a person that's never played a single down organized. So let me take the next 45 minutes and tell you about it. So I can't thank you enough. I know we all sing your praises year round, especially here. You're going to be missed. You're leaving it in a great spot. I love you for what you've done.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks.
Some new people running the chapter and being up here on the podium a year from now. Wolf Tone and I, who's been our board treasurer for all 17 years, Wolf and I are staying on the board. We're not going anywhere. We're here to help the next generation. I mentioned the 4 new board members that joined us in the middle part of 2022. What better group to have than people that have benefited directly, firsthand, from the National Football Foundation by being award winners like the ones that we've seen today. So we're in very, very good hands. The Bears are extremely supportive. Jeff Joniak keeps saying, I'm here as long as you'd like me to be the MC, and as long as I have any influence on the decision. We want Jeff back every single year. So thank you, Rob, heartfelt. You didn't need to bring up the poker thing, but that's cool. Did I mention the 4 groups? Sorry, let's get the college coaches over to the C. And big thanks to Jack and Alex, too, for taking the pictures.